Welcome to the world of terror. When I'm not busy embalming bodies, which isn't often, I like to relax with some good family reading. Let me introduce you to my personal library of Fangoria, the leader in horror entertainment. What a fascinatingly hideous cover of Freddy Krueger. And devilishly candid reviews of the latest horror videos, and gloriously bloody color photos from the newest Friday the 13th. They're all here in Fangoria. Can I persuade you to subscribe?
You know, not everyone's into horror films and quote, unquote, scary movies like you are, like I am, and millions of other people. So I'm curious to know, have you had instances when you've met people that kind of looked at you sideways when you explained what you did? Or what you do?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, absolutely. But you know what happens with horror is throw it into the whole geek culture thing. Well, they're calling it geek culture. I have thoughts about that whole terminology. But the guys that love Star Trek, the guys that love comic books. I mean, you like Star Trek, you like comic books. People are going to look at you and then think, oh, okay, look at that guy. I don't know, but you like horror movies, suddenly you're a bit dangerous to the obviously you're not, but there's this kind of aura of, well, this person must be perhaps unstable, or there must be some screws loose, or why are they fixated on death? And if you're a horror movie fan and you're sophisticated of thought somewhat, you're not violent, you're not horrible, you're not evil, but you're fascinated by those very real elements of the human condition. Yeah, it's true, we are all going to die. We try to fake that, and we try to kind of forget the fact that we are mortal, and our time here is very finite, and that we will die, and that most of us, many of us will probably die, unfortunately, violently in some way, against our will. We leave this earth as we come in, kicking and screaming. And horror movies are really just a kind of a mirror into that. If you walk around and you say, I love these horror movies, and I love, this movie with this, remember that scene where the guy's guts got ripped out, and the general public will look at you a bit askance. And horror movie fans really kind of like that. I know I always did. I was the guy in the bus, big briefcase full of comic books and horror movie magazines, and the guys were fascinated by me. The girls were also fascinated with me. It was a great way to meet girls because they thought you were this unusual alien-like creature, and they were fascinated by you. So, I mean, horror movies are kind of like punk rock. They're kind of anti-establishment and strange, and they go against the grain of the norm. And if you're a real hardcore fan of this stuff, you're totally fine with being perceived like that. I think, especially growing up, I know I was.